is the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast, brought to you by Cisco. Cisco is here to help set you up for success by delivering high-quality foods, products, and services for your restaurant. Recording live to digital from the NCF&B studios in downtown Raleigh. Join us as we lead you into the kitchen, inside the bottle, and into the minds of the food and beverage industry. And now, informing the waitstaff, we're good tippers. It's Max Trujillo and Matthew Weiss.
Hello, and thank you for listening to the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. I am your co-host, Max Trujillo.
And I am your co-host, Matthew Weiss. And today on the pod, we have a returning guest, a rising star of this Raleigh community, a rising star chef, here to talk about his new project, Prospects Craft Kitchen. Chef Alex Ricci.
Hello, hello.
Hey, man. Good to see you. Good to have you
see
in
you as well.
Studio.
It's a third time now.
Is it 3 times you've been
This is the third time, I think, yeah.
Wait a minute. Who was the first time?
Yeah.
Fire and Ice with Jesse Cortez when he brought the dog in here.
Oh, my God. That's right. Oh, Matt, you
Yeah.
weren't there.
Yeah.
That's why I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
you
wait a
weren't in
minute.
here that time.
That's right. Okay.
So it doesn't really, I mean, if I wasn't here.
Yeah, fair
doesn't
enough.
really count.
Fair enough.
Well, welcome back to the studio. I mean,
Thank you.
We wouldn't have you on if you weren't so compelling and also have cool things always happening in your life, which is pretty awesome. Last we spoke, you were at Cucciolo Terrazza in North Hills, Raleigh, which is a pretty awesome restaurant and delicious, and you've done well there. Funny enough, last night I was at the Raleigh Best Restaurants event, of which you won.
Yeah. Last year, yeah, we won Best New Restaurant.
No, but you also you won as just, so like the way they do it for Raleigh Magazine is they just pick all the best restaurants. And there's not really like I don't know, maybe Gina would speak otherwise to this, but I don't think there's like a finite number that they pick about like these are the best. I think she just picks or the magazine picks the best restaurants of the area. So there's a lot of people that get the nod. And then inside of it, there are 2 specific awards. One is Best New Restaurant and then Best Overall Restaurant. So with that said, Best New Restaurant was East End Bistro from Giorgio Spaccia. And then Best Restaurant Overall was Stanberry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
very
is cool.
Those guys deserve it.
Yeah, they're awesome. You know,
Always.
they do like
Well, they haven't said it on the pod, so I'm not sure it's really happened.
that's true.
It hasn't been documented.
They are the most elusive members. They're not like I don't know if I think there's a little fear of just being on mics and cameras and putting down their feelings on permanent airwaves. But we love them, and we're gonna like.
I think there's also just like a lot of humility there, and they also kill it already, so they don't feel like the need to just come out and talk.
I would
pat
agree with that.
On the back, they're like, no, we're great, and just come and enjoy.
Yeah, that might be it. But so yeah, Cucciolo won. You were no longer at Cucciolo though. It's been maybe a couple months?
I think about 3 months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's because you're planning something new. You're planning to take over. It's already been announced in the papers and all, so it's not like we're keeping the secret. But out of your mouth, tell us what's going on.
So my business partners and I, we ended up purchasing Pink Boot and Rainbow Luncheonette from Jason Howard. He actually was super fundamental in the sale of this. Like he was just great. Like he helped us out so much. Oh, cool. And one of the premises of the whole thing is, community. And when we had spoken to him about it, he was just all about that. And he was like, you know what? Nobody's giving shots to the younger chefs. Like I would love to sell this to you guys to give you an opportunity because there's just such little real estate left in Raleigh right now. So Jason Howard has been a saint to us, man. It's really fucking awesome what he did for us.
Yeah, and we would know him the most from the Cardinal Bar, and Jason's been on the show, and we've talked about his growth. He kind of opened up a lot. He has a little hombre out there in Clayton, and has plans to do other things as well, which is great. And he's a nice leader in the neighborhood, in the community. He had Pink Boot and the Rainbow Luncheonette, which was like a honky tonk and a diner.
Yeah.
Pink Boot being the honky tonk and Rainbow Luncheonette being the diner. Did he sell both of those to you, or is it?
Yes.
Okay, so you have both the two locations. So for our listeners, both, by the way, for audio or video, if you haven't jumped on to our YouTube page and checked it out, please do so. If you like listening, but you want to see our beautiful, look at Matt's face right now. Just look at it. Look at that thing. And then if you want to see how Alex's mustache has grown in so nicely, you can see it on our YouTube page, because now we're doing full video as well.
I'm catching this from all angles. Like, I went to a wedding this weekend, and everybody was shaving into like mustaches, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to be the only one that's not doing it. So I went ahead and
it's an epic mustache.
I look more like my father than I ever have in my entire life, and it's pretty appalling. But
the only thing is,
on from that,
for camera, I bet your father was a good-looking guy.
Yeah, well, I didn't get that. So
you just said you look like him. We're gonna give you we're gonna swap that beanie out and give you an NCFB pod beanie.
Ooh,
you're gonna wear a beanie in the summer. It should be an NCFB pod beanie.
Well, I just didn't want to do my hair this morning. You guys always get us up so early for this.
At the crack of 11.
Yeah, sorry, man.
All right. So you are opening in essence a diner, though. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily a diner. So we are
Raleigh
taking.
Magazine said that then.
Yeah. Well, So we did purchase the diner, and we are doing like modifications. Obviously, there's a lot of aesthetic changes that are going to be going into it, but we still want to honor what was there. But I wouldn't say diner. So we're trying to create more of a neighborhood restaurant and bar. It'll be open late night rather than open for breakfast. So we'll be keeping the restaurant open till about 3 a.m.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this is, would you say it's for the community?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's a perfect time to pause for a quick word from our proud title sponsor, Cisco.
That was slick, Matt. But Cisco isn't just our partner. They're also a partner with more local ranchers, growers, and producers than any other distributor in the industry. That's why their commitment to the community is unmatched.
It isn't enough for them to be the global leader in food service. Cisco's mission also has heart. A heart for food, a heart for service, and a heart for community.
And how do they follow through? Well, supporting farm-to-table initiatives to deliver the very local and best products, partnering with food banks and nonprofits to help underserved communities around the world and here at home. Fighting hunger, because, isn't that what food service is all about?
Fighting hunger at 3 a.m., perhaps, for the industry. So if you want to be part of this community and commitment, visit Sysco.com. That's SYSCO.com to learn more about their heartfelt commitment to the community.
Cisco, at the heart of food and service. All right, well, hey, let's take a quick break right now to speak with our friend Lane over there at Carborough Coffee Roasters. Lane, how are you?
I'm doing super well. How y'all doing?
Not too bad at all. Just getting into it with the old chef Alex over here talking about his business. But how are things going on out there in Carborough?
Yeah, well, it's this is the time of year, Max, where we get a lot of the new crops in from Central America. So we've gotten crops in from Honduras and Guatemala, Nicaragua, very specifically, and we go through a process where we sample roast them, and then we cup them, and we roast them, and we tweak them, and we tweak them, and we roast them, and tweak them again just to make them perfect. And so, what I'm drinking now is from our farmer partner, Jose Arnold Paz. We met him in about 2007 in Santa Barbara, Honduras. And this crop is really particularly good. It's very complex. It's a lush coffee. It has some caramel flavors, dark plum, peaches. I taste a large amount of red cherries, both in the acidity and the flavor. And it's a very lush kind of complex coffee. It's really fantastic as, a breakfast coffee or an after dinner coffee. This is a guy who knows his stuff and really cares about the soil, cares about how the plants are grown and how they're processed, and is really truly a seed to cup professional. So he always produces really fantastic coffee.
This is so cool, Lane. You bring us something wildly different every week, and thank you for that.
No, that's perfect. Well, we'll talk to you soon, Lane. Take care.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, so what's going to be on the menu at this craft kitchenette late night.
It's going to be
neighborhood.
a constantly rotating menu. We're going to try to work as local as possible, as seasonal as possible. How the whole menu was even built was just calling people in the community, and like friends of mine, you were one of them, and just like asking, what can I make for you that would like mean something to you? And that's actually how the entire menu was built. So,
Does Max know about this? Does he know?
I got a call.
Oh yeah,
you
Max got a call.
Okay.
So
Well, wait a minute. Who got the call first?
Matt got the call first.
Oh, that's it. This show's over.
Actually, I do
Max
believe
is
you called
so
me.
butthurt right now.
I think you called me actually.
Oh, well, then that doesn't matter. Matt's always so needy and thirsty. He's just calling people to see if they want to mention him in the
He did
a dish that honors me on your menu. I'm always doing that. If
Yeah. The guy's like, I work at Target, bro. What are you talking about? I'm just covering my bases.
maybe there's something out of Starbucks in the Target that you could name after me. I don't know.
It is remarkable how good you guys have gotten at radio.
So, Alex, what is
Wait,
going?
what is that?
What
Dick?
is the dish that's going to honor the NCF&B?
So speaking to you, you wanted me to honor your Jewish
heritage,
background
yeah.
and heritage, and Max's Mexican heritage, and
Orale.
so I came up with something called masa ball soup.
Yeah.
Instead of matzo ball soup, and it's going to be essentially masa balls instead of matzo crackers, and it's going to be swimming in birria. So it's going to be a
Will there be some chorizo in it as well?
man. I've been thinking about it. Maybe.
Yeah, let's R&D that one, and we'll help you. We'll be there.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell him everything because he's gonna just tell everybody, and
Well,
it's
we're
just,
telling everybody now. I
Hey,
mean,
just leave it alone, man. Just leave it alone.
Let me talk about community for a moment. This is not an ad read. This is an ad read for Chef Alex Ricci, just as a person in the community. So this is the type of guy this dude is at Crafton. We had brought on Kyle. We've already talked about it recently. Kyle has now moved on to the Willard out there in kind of Glenwood South area. But Kyle's a friend. Alex is a friend. We're all like, there's a bunch of like chefs in this area that are a nice tight community. And Alex, of course, having worked at the aforementioned Cucciolo and also just having like an affinity for great Italian food, saw that the menu that I essentially kind of created at Paseo, which was like the Italian concept, the pizza concept in Crafton, had a few pasta dishes on there that I even was like, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I just kind of threw this together.
Yep.
And he's like, dude, why don't I just on my day off come in here and help you out and do things? And so like out of nowhere, he just came in and started like making a bolognese, brought a meat grinder in, made it from scratch, changed the fettuccine Alfredo recipe to like one that you could actually be proud of and like consider. And I'm like, what, dude, I don't have any money. I can't pay you for this. And he's like, it's not why I'm doing it. I don't know. In your words, why did you do it?
Well, for this jacket that I never got, but that's okay. No,
wait a second.
I never got this jacket.
What was the jacket?
So
What's the deal?
Kip bought me and Kyle and himself.
Oh yeah, like a Crafton shacket.
Yeah, the shacket.
Yeah.
It's a really cool shacket.
Yeah.
I haven't worn it in a while because we're on the face of the earth, the face of the sun right now in the middle of summer. It's really, really hot. But the shacket is
Those were cool.
It's a nice image. Yeah. It's
So
a nice
yeah, they were.
You promised to get Alex one, and you never got
Oh,
one.
No, there was no promise, but I was trying to be very persuasive.
This is how it went.
You're like, this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I don't need the money. I need the shacket.
He's
Actually-
like, this shacket looks really great, and I would like if you could get me one of those. And I said, oh, that's nice. I don't know if we could do that. I mean, let's be honest. These shackets, they're like a couple $100.
A couple of $100? What are they, Patagonia?
No, better. They're like Viore or something like that. Like they're really, really nice. Like they're really nice.
So many things I want
Wow.
to say right now
Yeah.
that I will take off air.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know that, but
Yeah, well, Kip
So I never
bought
got
them,
the
and Kip
jacket.
only wants the best. He likes the best, and so
Only the best.
He's like the Kiss of restaurateurs. You wanted the best. You got the best. So yeah, they were super expensive, and it took a little while to get them made and all that. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. But you're here and you're making Alfredo sauce, and I love you for it.
yeah.
So,
We'll give you a hat.
but
I
let's
never
be
even got a
honest.
hat.
You're gonna get a hat. You'll get a hat.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got
okay.
both hats.
Right there.
Oh,
You
okay.
choose-
All right. All
you
right.
choose.
Well,
Crafton
that
hat,
makes up for it.
podcast hat. I'll give you, like a hat. Like, what do you want?
You want that mug? We'll give
Yeah.
you that mug.
No, you guys could keep the mugs.
Here, take my sandals. All right. Okay, so we're being silly, but I mentioned this stuff about you just doing this is because, in my opinion of you, is that you're just like by nature you're just a chef or a cook or whatever you want to say. In that point is that like you pass the time by cooking and giving to your friends and community, and like it's like an act of service, right? Like if you want to get all like relationship therapy, all the love languages that they talk about. Matt, what's your favorite love language? Do you know what I'm talking about? There are things like acts of service. There are now I don't even know this. I shouldn't have brought that up because I have no idea what I'm talking about. But positive reinforcements, physical touch.
Yeah, physical touch.
Yeah, that's your favorite one.
Yeah.
You like it when Alex gives you a neck rub.
Big hug.
Yeah.
Big bear hug.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But your act of service is like you cook for people is like kind of the point I'm getting at. And it was such a thoughtful thing to just like do this. Oh, gifts, I think. Gift giving is another love language.
Okay.
So I like it though. You're a sensitive guy, Alex, and you think about people and you try to help them out. So that's how I know you. And I appreciate that about you as a person in this community. So that's kind of how this whole like part of your menu even leads in, because you're talking about it like I want to call people that I not like look up to or whatever, but like I feel like are doing something in the community or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's why we got a call, and you're like, I want to make something for you guys so they represent the podcast. So with that continuing, where else are you going? Who else have you talked to? What else are you doing with your menu that brings in the community?
I mean, all of the ladies from Raleigh Mag have a shout out on there. Kevin Ruiz, Kyle has one. There's Esther Wallace, who just took over 5-star like in Raleigh. Oh, yeah. There's just so many people that are on that list, you know.
What are you making for Gina Stevens?
Chicken and waffles, actually.
Chicken and waffles?
Yeah, that's what they wanted for the brunch menu. So, Crash Greg got one from the Downtowner. He wanted a play on shrimp and grits, so I was going to honor that. And, I'm just going to keep trucking with it. And
you could have just done a glass of Prosecco for Gina, and that would have been fine.
Yeah, but I've never drank with her, so, and I don't really plan on starting to. But, ever since then, though, I started to think about, like, well, if I built the core menu from calling friends and peers that I respect, like, how could I actually translate into the community a little bit better? So I'm going to be creating this big chalkboard, which would allow people to basically answer a question, and that question will be answered by a dish. And they will actually cultivate the special board. So,
for instance, give us a for instance.
So say the question is like, what is a dish that reminds you of your mother? And if somebody says, fried chicken reminds me of my mother, well, then I'm going to create a fried chicken dish in honor of what they put on there. And then I'll tag them on Instagram. And like, if they come in at that time, like I'll give it to them for free, just that one,
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep trying to make it a public affair as best I can. But you are right, though. Yeah, my biggest love language is definitely acts of service and cooking for people, and I always want to see like my friends succeed. I wanted to see Crafton succeed, and so if I can offer a recipe or two, it is what it is.
Well, to that, thank you. I appreciate it. That was
Thank
really
you.
nice.
Yeah. What's the Kevin Ruiz dish?
Ooh. So he asked for a play on shepherd's pie. Okay. So I
Sprayed
created
in Axe body spray?
Oh.
Just
Shots
kidding. Just
fired.
kidding. I love him.
Man,
Just
wow.
kidding.
Tell me how you really feel, Max. Damn. So, he asked for a play on shepherd's pie, so I created something called the smoker's pie.
Nice.
Not because he's just like a tremendous pothead or anything like that, but he probably
never,
allegedly. Yeah. But no, it's basically just a southern play on shepherd's pie done with brisket, and there's going to be collards and a pimento mac and cheese, or a pimento mashed potato on top, and just stupid stuff
That's
like
awesome.
that, man. Yeah, I mean, I really want to focus on comfort foods that are like very familiar, and I had this conversation with this guy once, and he was like, you know what? I want to talk about unit sales, like as a restaurant owner. And I took that to heart. And he said something to me one day. He said, Alex, are you concerned with being the best chef, or are you concerned with like being noticed for it? And
What was your answer?
I didn't really have one at the time. So, and I've thought about it a lot. And I think that now I kind of just want to focus on being a chef, but like check the ego. Everybody knows I've done avant-garde cuisine for years, very fancy plate ups, very high-end dining. At the end of the day, though, like to run that kind of operation, it's so marginal. And like you don't get much time for yourself. Like there is no like, work-life balance in it. So
Wait a minute. Wasn't that person that asked you that question me?
yeah, it was. I was just trying to.
That was me that asked that question.
It was.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I remember this conversation because I was like, okay, the essence of this is artistry and creativity and all that stuff is the lifeblood of what makes the restaurant industry go. But I remember I was sitting there in my truck talking to you, and it was pouring rain outside, and I didn't want to jump out yet. And I'm like, let's just finish this conversation here. And I'm like, look, I'm excited for you to open your new restaurant, but you and I both know the key to longevity is sales. Like you have to move units. You cannot exist on just a touchy-feely concept. It's got to like also be fucking dope and profitable, right?
Yep.
Like it has to move. And so I think that's why I was just messing with you. But I'm like, what is going to be your driver if all your menu items are like changing all the time or moving around and like fluctuating? You do need to have some things that will make people remember and come back for, And you don't need like all the nonsense that like a Bonefish Grill will give, like a BOGO, buy one, come back. It's, Shrimp Tuesdays or whatever.
Yeah.
Bang Bang Tuesdays. But you got to have something that makes people go, oh man, like when I think of prospects, that's what I want.
Yeah, you have to build your staples, and who knows what those will be. Like we don't know yet, but
Well, the matzo ball soup, I'm definitely counting on
I
that.
honestly don't think I'll ever take that off, just because it's like clever. And I was like, oh damn. All right,
That's got to be a profitable thing too.
Hopefully, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
if you fuckers don't make me money, I mean, that's you're out, man. I'm never coming on this show again.
You're getting the NCF bump right now.
Well, you've been on 3 times, so that's enough.
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. My time is finite.
So real quick, I was asking earlier, but the layout, because you have the Rainbow Luncheonette is like a shotgun, right? It's like thin and long.
It is.
And it's tight. But then you also have Pink Boot, which is did you like knock a wall down or something or?
No, so we're not able to do that just due to like the city and, permitting and all that. Like we would have to alter the entire building essentially to make that happen because it changes our assembly to like an A2 assembly on Pink Boot side. So unfortunately, we're not able to do that. So we're going to have 2 separate concepts. So it's going to be Prospects Craft Kitchen. It's where Rainbow Luncheonette was.
Okay.
And in Pink Boot, that was going to be called the Devereaux. So
Right.
yeah.
That's so funny because we were just talking to Chef Stephen Devereaux Green at Aaron's, and he had the Devereaux in Charleston or South Carolina.
Yeah, so apparently that area is called the Devereaux, and that's because of the old baseball field that was there and things like that. So, my business partner, Justin, he was like, we really want to stick to like honoring this. So this is the name. And I was like, oh, well, fuck it. Yeah, go for it, bud.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like a great name.
What's the vibe in there, the Devereaux, like versus?
So I really don't want to speak on that too much because my business partners aren't here. Johnny, he was there.
Right there.
But,
Johnny, what do you think about that, John?
but
Thank you, Johnny. We'd have an empty seat over here.
but what I will say is that the focus is to be like just a very classic neighborhood bar, like not a cocktail bar, not a dive bar, just a very comfortable spot for like all demographics.
Love it.
Yeah. That's all we're really going for.
No, that's great. And so, talk about your team. Like, who's the team made up of?
So my business partners are Justin Tatnell and Johnny Rocket, aka Johnny Bravo, also just Jonathan Ennis, but he goes by Bravo or Rocket on the Glenwood Strip. He's been bartending down there for years, man, and like he's just such a fucking well-known guy. It's super nice. Like everybody loves him. He also has Home Slice Tavern in Youngsville with some of his partners. So I think it's just going to be very successful on the bar side because of him. Like he knows his shit, man. He's been in it forever, and like honestly, you couldn't really ask for a nicer guy to be a partner with, man.
Nice.
When's Target opening?
Obviously, all these things are always tentative,
Right.
so we're hoping for probably about mid-October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not too far. We're getting towards the end of August, so about a month of prep and production and all.
Yeah.
So will your kitchen provide all the food for the Devereaux, or
It will.
Okay, yeah, all right. So the food's coming out of your side, the drinks are coming out of his side, but you're doing it together as a team. Okay, now that all makes sense to me. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, like you are a fancy chef, quote unquote, whatever. You've worked in some very high end places, and we've talked about this before. If anyone wants to get the deeper backstory of Chef Ricci, just look. I think you were on. Was it still in this calendar year at the beginning of the year? It might have been.
No, I think
No,
it
it
was
was
in
last year.
22.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spring of 22, I want to say.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Jesus, where
Yeah.
does the time go? But we went into like the fact that you were back there and you were in Vegas for a little bit. You were in Asheville. You were, you're from Florida, right? Originally. And
Originally, I'm from Chicago, but
That's
then I
right.
grew up in Florida
Grew up in
for
Florida,
14
yeah.
years as well. So.
That's right. But so cooking out of, I've seen like the Rainbow Luncheonette is just an open kitchen, and it's just it does look like a diner. It's like you sit up at a bar and you watch everyone, like making hash and eggs on a flat top and whatever. So, how is it going to be for you to kind of like, you went from like having an electric guitar to an acoustic guitar type of thing?
I mean, I'm pretty excited about it, honestly. Like, it's going to be a little bit more simple, which honestly I'm ready for. I've been doing this for a very long time, and at this point, I was actually speaking to Ricky Moore when I came to the event at Crafton. I went up to him and I was like, "Chef, how you doing?" And he, congratulated me on the article that had come out that day.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him and I said, "Man, I'm done with fine dining." And he just started laughing. He was like, he put his apron down and he goes, Tell me what's going on. And, I spilled the beans to him and he just looked at me and he said, man, I did it for 30 years. And the second that I stopped doing avant-garde cuisine and just did what I love, he was like, that's when I truly found happiness. And he was like, you don't need to be doing this. He's like, you could still create amazing food and it doesn't have to be fine dining. I think I'm just ready for that step. It's a long grind, man.
Yeah.
And like I said before, the fine dining circuit, you need so many hands at all times, and you don't have work-life balance. So it takes just so long to prepare things like that. So
It's funny that you mentioned Ricky Moore and the juxtaposition of like fine dining and obviously he recently won the James Beard Award out here in Durham for Saltbox, which is not fine dining, but the food is unfucking real. It's so delicious, and you can tell that like a chef that truly understands balance and flavor and composition is the one making a hush puppy or hush honeys, I guess is actually what he calls his, or an open faced shrimp sandwich or something. But with that said, friend of the show Kyle Sutton, he's been on before of Bestow Baked Goods, and he was at Bubbles and Brisket and all. He just happened to be in New York a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you knew this, Matt, but like I was talking to him. He was up at New York for work, and while he was there, got a notification that Ricky Moore was cooking at the James Beard House, along with Greg Collier out there in Charlotte, and Ashley Shanti in Asheville. And there's that new space that the James Beard has now moved into in New York. I'm looking at you, Matt, just because you're all things New York. But the James Beard house is a small house, and it's kind of dilapidated, and the kitchen's very small. It's charming, but it's too small to really do what they're trying to do. But apparently, they just opened up a new kitchen up there in New York, and more of like not like a food hall, but it was like more of like a bigger event space. And so they're doing more exposition, like what do you call it, exhibition things in that area. And apparently, Ricky and the other chefs I mentioned all just put together like this crazy meal, and Kyle just being up there was like, "Oh, I've got to go."
Yeah.
And so he just went, and he's like, "Man, he did all the Saltbox hits. He did all the things that you would expect for him to do, but then he just threw down like crazy high-end fine dining things that you forget. Like, oh yeah, that's what Ricky's capable of doing." And he just put it down and like just kind of put everyone back in check. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
motherfuckers, this is how
Did
a
you
real
forget
chef-
about me?
Yeah, which is great. And I love it because Ricky is that kind of like speak softly, carry a big stick type of mentality. And then in the end, it's just good food,
Yeah.
just making good food. So maybe that's maybe that's your new story. That's your new direction.
Maybe, maybe one day, man. That guy's probably forgotten more about food than I will ever know. But, he's definitely somebody to look up to, and he's just a super kind guy. I mean, like you said, like, you don't expect something out of him like that, and then you'll be, like, sitting down, and fucking all of a sudden, like, Iron Chef will come on, and, like, oh, there's Ricky. Like, it's like old episodes, and you're like, oh, damn,
It's like, don't forget about Dre.
Yeah, man.
When he rapped on the Eminem album. I'm sure that's what he was listening to. Like, oh, these fools forgot about me that I could throw down. I want to get back to this because we kind of glanced over it, and Max had asked you this question about would you rather be a great chef and make great food, or would you rather be known for making great food? And you said I still haven't answered that. So elaborate.
I think that everybody does this for, some form of recognition. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it would be, it'd be a lie to say that we don't. But after he asked me that question, I really did start to think about why I was doing what I do. Like, is it solely for the recognition? Like, do I want to be a great chef, or do I want to be perceived as a great chef? And so you can post everything online, all day. But at the end of the day, are you honing in on the craft? And I think for me now, it's about honing in on the craft and then trying to pass on the information and knowledge that I have,
What does that mean? What does that mean for you at this point to hone in on a craft?
Just really learn about who I want to be as a chef. And I think, I truly do believe that we are almost more validated the day we step out of the kitchen than while we're in it, because then you start to look at community outreach and you become more of that public figure, and it's about cultivating other people. And I think you and I, once again, we had a conversation about like who is the best chef in the city. And I remember you were like Scott Crawford, hands down, because of how many people he has cultivated and like how many like people are at the head of the game now because of him. And that really stuck with me, man. Like, I was like, damn, like, that is true. Like, it's not really about me. Like, I can cook all day, and everybody cooks, like, in the city. Like, but
Well, I think the difference is cook and chef, right? Like, that was the thing we're getting at, is like, who's the best cook in town is not necessarily the same answer as who's the best chef in town. And chef really just means like boss, like leader, like the person that's running the whole thing. So when you come to that point, I think that's where I was giving the nod to chef to Scott Crawford. That might not, I mean, don't get me wrong, Scott can cook the hell out of some food, so there's no slight there. But I mean, but there's also probably a line cook working at, Molino that might be the best cook. I'm just making this, I don't know anybody that's a line cook at Molino, but I'm just making the point of like the best cook might be someone no one knows, and they never fuck up an egg. They cook their medium perfectly medium and all that. That's a different skill. But being a chef is three-dimensional. It's so much more than worrying about like the technique and all that. Like that's one element of everything else that you must know.
Yeah, you wear a lot of hats when you're a chef, But I think now the focus is just, what can I cultivate? What can I give back? And that's what I'm really aiming for. I'm kind of like trying to take a step back from like, going out and being like, oh, like I can do this, I can do that. Like, oh, my ego, fuck that shit, man. Like, I don't even want to be seen anymore, man. Like, to be honest, if anything,
Let's shut off the mics.
No, I want
shut off the cameras.
No one's been listening for the last 20 minutes. No,
I'd like to create something that obviously will be able to sustain, my family and things like that. And hopefully I'll be able to settle down one day and just kind of raise my kids and treat my wife well, buy a house, get a dog, those normal things that people do.
So are you saying you're on the hunt for a wife?
Well, Matt, it's not going to be you, but,
man.
I mean, that Max always kids, but, in Judaism, they say if you make 3 shidduchs, which is mean you bring 3 couples together in holy matrimony, you go straight to heaven. Like, your ticket's punched.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
so
why
I can help you out.
Yeah, that's why the Jewish moms
how many are you on right now?
I don't think I have any. I don't know if I have any that like have stuck. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I had
So I need to
one.
get started.
I had one, and then they broke up. You
So,
know,
yeah.
you know who you two are, but
How dare they?
I know. I thought that was love forever,
Rude.
and but yeah, we got none.
But just to give, it's interesting that we're having this conversation. We started off, you were talking about the Raleigh Magazine Best Restaurants Award, and we were talking about Stanberry. And I think like everything you're describing is probably those guys. Like they really, it seems like they don't give a shit about the recognition, but they just have this baller restaurant that everybody loves. The community loves to have it here. And it doesn't seem like they really care about who writes about them, who talks about them, who whatever. They just crush it.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, those guys are just incredibly humble. And, you know, that's kind of where I want to go with it, man. I just want to kind of just calm myself down and not worry about things anymore. I think I used to stress myself out with timelines, you know, where I should be at this time in my life, what I should be doing, you know. And now
Well, you're
it's
a
just,
young dude, though. Like you just turned 30 or something like that?
no, I'm 36, but,
Oh, you're 36.
but you know,
Still a young dude.
But,
You're a
Yeah,
whippersnapper
to
compared
old
to us.
guys. Yeah,
But yeah, it's like I don't want to concern myself with those things anymore. Like I just want to cook really good food and see what I can do for the people around me, man. That's it.
how is life? You also in all those like touchy feely things we mentioned is, and I mentioned too, you're a sensitive guy, but that also means you're like an emotional guy too.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen you at high highs and low lows in the time that I've known you. So how are you doing these days?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Like you know, I've got myself a very good woman, and things are going very well. And you know, I've been losing weight and just going back to the gym. And
I noticed
just
you look trim walking in here.
living life.
Did you say you lost like 50 pounds in the last 6 months or something?
46 pounds, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
total of 46 pounds, yeah.
How'd you do it?
I basically went carnivore for 3 months, and it was miserable. Don't do it. It's a very daunting task, but eating ground beef and eggs and then going to the gym for 2 hours a day, and that's really about it. And then also I slowed down on drinking tremendously, except for last night.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Although I would imagine Matt's Matt's father, who recently he just had a birthday.
Happy
who also
birthday, Dad.
is
Turned
a
80, yeah.
cardiologist, is probably like, that's probably not the best thing to do to lose weight, but yeah, I guess it's a quick means to an end to get there.
Yeah, hey, it worked. So
Yeah.
can't complain.
There you go. Well, this has been great, man. It's always great to catch up with you, and
Absolutely.
and I'm excited about this Prospects Craft Kitchenette. I'm excited to eat there, and especially after a night of drinking, it sounds like there'll still be a place to go get a good hot
Yeah.
meal.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's actually one of the main focuses right there. Everybody has to go to cookout, so I'm going to shut that shit down.
Let's ask a couple of dumb questions and we'll see how you feel about this. All right. So just in an effort to understand your more food and drink habits, these are very like remedial food questions, but so would you rather for breakfast, would you rather have cereal or bacon and eggs?
Bacon and eggs.
For coffee, 2 cream and sugars or black?
Black.
For lunch, a sandwich or a salad?
Sandwich.
Pizza, would you rather have cheese or Hawaiian?
Cheese.
Beer, wine, or cocktails?
Wine.
Tequila, gin, or bourbon?
Bourbon.
Spaghetti and meatballs or chicken and rice? For
Chicken
dinner?
and rice.
For dessert, apple pie a la mode or chocolate lava cake a la mode?
Ooh. Apple pie.
For a late night snack, apropos to Prospects, would you rather have vanilla ice cream or McDonald's French fries?
Ice cream. Who would eat McDonald's French fries as a late night snack over ice cream?
I mean, a lot of people
Yeah,
like
no, man.
savory, salty, late night.
weirdos.
I kind of want both of them at the same time.
You
though,
would.
really.
Dip the fries in the ice cream, savory and
Sounds,
sweet.
that sounds like a I had too much to smoke type of dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
oh, it's all
very
there.
good.
All right. We're being silly, but that was fun just for a quick second. All right. We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir.
We'll chat soon. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for being here, man. And for everybody out there, go to Prospects Craft Kitchen and the Devereaux as soon as it opens, and you will eat and drink extremely merrily.
Thanks for listening to the NC F&B podcast. And if you've stuck with us this long, review us on iTunes and remember, 5 stars are encouraged.